This book, Activating the Secret Power Within, is actually a book following a book that I wrote earlier, The Secret Power Within. This book is a little deeper because it has a tendency to take us into a spiritual realm of consciousness that we're not used to going into. Let me give you a good example of what I'm saying. God created us in his own image, so we know we're spirit. And God formed our body out of the dust of the earth. Now, God created us according to Genesis 1:26. God created man in his own image. But when we go to Genesis 2, we see something differently, that God formed man's body out of the dust of the earth. So our spirit is in the image of God, and our body is formed from the molecular structures of the earth, which mean that there need to be some balance of energy between the human body and the spirit that within the body. So to activate the power within, God has placed within the human body, for an example, I'm going to give you one example, an organ that sits right in the center of our brain, between the Western and the Eastern Hemisphere of our brain, is an organ called a pineal gland. The pineal gland, by many, is believed to be actually a spiritual molecule, in that the gland can help activate a person spiritually to get into the presence of God much quicker than if I'm just running around trying to conjure it up and allowing my flesh to bring me into the Spirit of God. My flesh cannot bring me into the Spirit of God, but I can activate the Spirit very easily, because first of all, I'm one with God. John 17:21 said that I'm one with God. God is one with me, and because God is one with me and I'm one with God, when I'm present, God is present because we're one. Now, to activate that and to walk in the Spirit, like the Bible say, we should walk in the Spirit. To walk in the Spirit, I need to activate that walk so that I can truly walk in the Spirit. So within the human body, or the physiology, the anatomy of the human body, the anthropology, the way that we were created, God have created us that we could get into the Spirit, walk in the spiritual realm, and yet walk in the natural body. While I'm walking in this body, I am restricted space. But when I'm in the Spirit, I'm not restricted. So that means that when the Western and Eastern Hemisphere of my brain is open up, because no more neurons and synapses are going back and forth, there's a gap. Now I'm in the gap. So the Bible said God's looking for a man to stand in the gap. Now I'm in that spiritual gap, because I'm now no mind, because that mental tie between the Western and Eastern Hemisphere have actually separated, so that the Spirit can emerge up. And because of that, I'm now in contact in the Spirit with God. I'm in another dimension because I am conscious of my own presence. When I'm conscious, that means that I'm not my emotions, I'm not my feeling, I'm not my mind. I am spirit. I know that I'm spirit because I have activated that spirit. Now, this book is very interesting. You need to get a copy, because it will take you to another level. It will let you understand why we struggle with healing. The reason we don't walk in our divine healing is because we're not walking in the Spirit and we're not present. As soon as we're present, we become the strong man of the house. We have greater authority. Lesser authority must always yield to greater authority. And now we are really walking in the power of God. So this book is very interesting. It's a little bit about human anatomy, a little physiology, a little anthropology, a little bit of everything to show you how the human body is made, the blood vessels, the nerves, everything in the human body, how everything interact on an energy level, so that we can walk in the likeness of God and be able to carry out the plan of God. God said he's left us behind that we would do greater works, and the greater work will come only when we're able to discern that we are a spirit and we live in this body, but this body does not control us, that we can operate in the spirit and get our work done. You need to get a copy of this book as quickly as possible so that you can begin to walk in your authority and your power.